Good day, everyone. Today we'll be looking at applied cryptography in computer security and cybersecurity. My name is Pedrito Wallace, and I'll be your lecturer for today. There are two distinct words when put together form the word, which is taken from Greek. Both of these words are from Greek origin. Cryptos means hidden, and graphene means to write or writing. So, in essence, cryptography means hidden writing. Our objectives today, we will define cryptography. We'll be looking at the main goals and purposes, the brief history, real world uses, and then finally the takeaway. So, what is cryptography? Cryptography is a science of protecting and securing information by transforming it so that only intended or authorized recipients can access and understand it. In today's world, it uses advanced mathematics, algorithms, and keys to secure information, ensuring confidentiality, data integrity, authentication, and non-repudiation. It converts readable plaintext into unreadable ciphertext, allowing only authorized recipients to access the data. It is essential for modern security, protecting e-commerce, communications, and stored data. It has been adopted as a core part of computer security and cybersecurity. It underpins modern digital security, ranging from simple messaging apps to complex banking systems and cryptocurrencies. Again, the word cryptography, the etymology is derived from Greek, which cryptos means hidden and graphy means writing. It is the art of rendering information unintelligible to unauthorized users. Now, the main goals of cryptography. It seeks to provide these four guarantees: confidentiality, which is ensuring only intended recipients can read the message, access data or information, and it uses the technology Advanced Encryption Standard, which is the same as saying AES. Now, AES 256 is one of the more complex form of protocol that allows layers of security by having a very complex permutation. Secondly, it provides integrity. Data cannot be altered undetected during transmission, and it uses SHA 256. Thirdly, authentication. Verification of identity, verifying the identity of the sender / the receiver using digital certificates. And fourthly, non-repudiation. This is where it proves that someone's performed an action, preventing a sender from denying that they sent a message using digital certificates. Now let's visit the historical milestone in ancient cryptography. Cryptography evolved through four major phases. 1. Ancient manual ciphers. 2. Mathematical analysis of codes. 3. Mechanical encryption machines. And 4. Modern computer-based cryptography. If we look at the time chart, indicated is the starting point, right? The first historical record of when cryptography came into existence, leading all the way up to modern cryptography from 1970s to present, right? And this would have been the dawn of the computer age. It is important to note that what we are now using as a Caesar cipher, which is derived by shifting the alphabet to a position. Basic techniques like shifting letters or rearranging text were used for military messages, all the way to modern cryptography in 1970s to present, where we've been using a multitude of different technologies. We'll move on to the next talking point. Early civilization used basic substitution techniques. For example, the Egyptians used non-standard hieroglyphs, whilst the Spartans used saktil, a wooden rod cipher device. Now, for the Egyptian hieroglyphs, they were mainly images carved into stones that were used to communicate messages. And even for the common person, the slaves, they were unable to read. And as a result of this, if they should even have seen certain hieroglyphs, they were unable to make the interpretation known to themselves or to their comrades. Now for the Spartan sacktail, which was a wooden rod cipher, this would have been a more advanced form of technology where they would have now been introduced to an alphabetical system where the Egyptians would have just been using tablets of stones and inscribed drawings onto the walls that they were unable to decipher clearly. Translation would have been done through some official translator at times, or even persons like the kings would have been able to decipher the tablets of stones. Now, the primary purpose of ancient cryptography would have been for military secrecy, protecting political communication, and concealing religious messages. Key concept of this is to emphasize that early cryptography relied on physical secrecy, not mathematical complexity. So we'll look at Caesar cipher, how it actually works. So now let's take a look at the Caesar cipher, named after Julius Caesar, one of the earliest and simplest substitution ciphers. The technique is to shift each letter by a fixed number, and that number may range from 1 to 25. Now for a simple example, let's say we move each letter by 3. So we have the alphabet from A to Z, and if you are given the key indicator of shifting by 3, then A would now equate to D. When you type the word hello, which is HELLO, it would then transcribe to core, which is KHOOR. And this is a monoalphabetic substitution cipher. Now the weakness for this and why it cannot be used in today's advanced day and age of computers is that it only allowed for 25 possible shifts, which caused for it to be easily compromised and broken using frequency analysis. Now let's take a closer look at cryptography being instrumental in World War. We have this pictorial presentation showcasing the Enigma machine. Now cryptography became critical in global warfare, used by Nazi Germany to encrypt military communications. Now this technology worked pretty well up until it was compromised and broken by Allied cryptanalysts, and the key figure was Alan Turing. The impact is that it shortened World War II by an estimated 2+ years, but laid foundations for modern computing. The key concept is that it shifts from manual ciphers to electromechanical encryption. Now moving from the ancient ciphers into modern cryptography, we look at the shifts from mechanical systems to mathematical algorithm. Now there are main types of cryptography and data transformation techniques. Listed here are a few. Highlighted in the gray are the main basis on which modern cryptography is formed. For number 1, we'll look at encryption and decryption. 2, we'll be looking at hashing and hash functions. 3, digital signatures. 4, hybrid cryptography. 5, message authentication codes, which are known as MACs. 6, key derivation functions, which are KDFs. 7, homomorphic cryptography. And 8, post-quantum cryptography. Now let's take a closer look at encryption and decryption. There are 2 types of encryptions. One, which is symmetric key cryptography, and 2, asymmetric. The first type of encryption is symmetric key cryptography. Now this uses a single key for encryption and decryption. It makes it very fast, which is used for bulk data encryption. Example would be the advanced encryption standard, which is the AES, used in Wi-Fi, VPNs, and encrypted storage. Now the second one would be the asymmetric, which uses 2 keys, a public and a private key. The public key is derived from the private key. Public key to encrypt and a private key to decrypt. It solves key distribution problems. Example, the RSA, named after Revist Shamir Adleman. This is the foundation of HTTPS, digital signatures, and cryptocurrencies. Now we'll look at hashing and hash functions. Hashing converts data or information, which is the plain text. It is one way and cannot reverse. An example would be SHA-256 used in password storage and blockchain systems. Hashing also provides a platform on which digital signatures are utilized to prove authenticity and integrity, used in software updates and secure email. Key exchange allows two parties to establish a shared secret over a public channel. Now let's revisit. Hashing is where you take a plain text, irregardless of the length of that plain text. Once the hash function transforms that piece of data into the hash sum, it will be a fixed length of string. Now we'll look at digital signatures. Digital signatures are a way to prove that a digital message or document really came from a specific person and wasn't changed. Think of them like a handwritten signature, but for electronic data. Now, a digital signature does three important things: authenticity, which proves who sent the message; integrity, which proves the message was not altered; and non repudiation. The sender cannot deny sending it. Now, here are some areas in which digital signatures are used. It is used to secure emails, online banking, software downloads. This is to prove that the software is genuine, electronic contracts, and also cryptocurrencies on blockchain. Now, as indicated for digital signature is using the two previous types of cryptography. It can use encryption and decryption, or it can also be through the hashing and hash functions. The next type of cryptography is the hybrid cryptography. And this is where it combines symmetric and asymmetric cryptography for efficiency and security. An example would be the SSL or TLS protocol. Asymmetric encryption is used to exchange a symmetric session key, then symmetric encryption secures the data transfer. MAX. Message authentication codes are used to check that a message is authentic and has not been changed during transmission. A simple explanation is that a MAC is a small piece of data or tag created from the message, and a secret key is shared by sender and receiver. And then this tag is sent along with the message. Now, another type of cryptography is key derivation functions, KDFs. These are algorithms used to generate strong cryptographic keys from a value such as a password or shared secret. Simple explanation is that a KDF takes a weak or simple input like a password and transforms it into a strong, secure cryptographic key that can be used for encryption. Another type of cryptography is the homomorphic cryptography, which allows computation and encryption of data without decrypting it. It is useful in privacy-preserving applications and cloud computing. Some examples of this would be fully homomorphic encryption, FHE, and also partially homomorphic schemes like PALIA. And finally, we have the post-quantum cryptography, designed to resist attacks by quantum computers. And some examples would be the lattice-based cryptography, code-based cryptography, and multivariate quadratic equations cryptography. Now let us look at cryptography in the real world. The technology and protocol that we'll look at primarily is what we use every day, which is the Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure, which uses TLS, which is a transport layer security. It combines asymmetric cryptography for key exchange and symmetric encryption for speed. Messaging apps also use a form of cryptography. Apps like WhatsApp use end-to-end encryption, often built on the Signal protocol. Now, importantly, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin relies on the SHA-256 hashing, likewise digital signatures, and finally public and private key pairs. Now let us look at cyber attacks against cryptography. There is the main type of cyber attack you would find is brute force attacks. Now in this scenario, you would find the man in the middle, you'd have certificate spoofing, relay attacks, side channel attacks. Now defense for these requires a layered cryptography. Now let us look at the overall cybersecurity strategy to prevent breaches. Now, preventing breaches in the future will involve a mix of strong cryptographic practices Good security habits and organizational policies. Here are key ways to help keep systems safe. 1. Use strong modern cryptography. 2. Implement multi-factor authentication (MFA). 3. Use secure key management. 4. Use regular software updates and patch management. And number 5. Use network security tools like firewall, intrusion detection or prevention systems, IDS or IPS, and VPNs. And finally, you can segment networks to limit attack spread. Now let's look at the key takeaways. Cryptography is foundational in cybersecurity, where secure systems combine multiple algorithms, two-factor authentication. Additionally, implementation matters as much as mathematics. And finally, security must evolve to post-quantum threats. Thank you for joining in. This was a brief review of cryptography.